The talent is your choice. Yay! Hello guys, I'm PowahForDays, and today I'm going to make a tutorial on the Hunter. I'm going to cover how he generally should be played and what you should think about when playing him. I'm also going to cover what loadouts I like to use and some theoretical ones, just to show you how they can look. So, who is the Hunter? The Hunter is, in my opinion, a key component for making up a good human composition. His role is to be a high damage dealer that has good mobility and great control over the battlefield. I would consider the Hunter a beginner-friendly class, and I recommend it for new players because you can use it to both contribute to your team in terms of damage and coverage, but still further learn the game. But don't be fooled, the Hunter is not to be played with. If he is in the right hands, he can be devastating. So, what is needed to be a really good hunter, you might ask? In my opinion, you need 3 things to be a good hunter. Number 1, a good aim. Aim is important in all the human classes, but especially with the hunter. You should be able to hit a flying sentinel or a jumping reaver with somewhat accuracy. Aim will come naturally, but you should still make sure you're always keeping it in mind and practice hard shots. The second thing I believe you need is a basic understanding of how you should behave around your teammates. With this, I mean how you manage your team in terms of keeping your position amongst your teammates and knowing when to change your focus. To watch someone that has mastered this and knows how and when to do stuff, and to work with a lot of different teammates, is an amazing sight. This is a hard thing to just learn, and it will take several hundred hours before you master it. I don't consider myself an expert at the area, but I do believe I at least have a basic understanding of how to behave around teammates. The third thing is almost the same as the second, but still not. You should have a sense of where to be and where to look and shoot. With this I mean you should know and keep track of your teammates' positions and actions. If you, for example, see or notice a teammate getting pounced by a reaver, you should know to direct your fire against that reaver instead of trying to get a shot on the sentinel on the other side of the map. If you can manage this, or you simply like to be a high damage dealer with a lot of mobility and control over the battlefield, I would definitely recommend Hunter as your main class. Okay, you have decided to play the Hunter, and now you want to choose a loadout. But you can't really decide between all these weapons. What weapon is the best, and what should you use for the highest damage output? Before I start to list my personal loadout, I want to discuss some different combinations of loadouts you can do for achieving different things like being aggressive, defensive, or simply having a generally good and versatile loadout. My aggressive loadout would look something like this. Keep in mind that this is the loadout for the most damage and not the most efficient play. For the crossbow I would choose the multibow, because it can deal the most damage per second if you hit every shot. This weapon also has the least spread amongst all the crossbows. Then for the primary ability I would choose the whip. It deals 200 damage and staggers the enemy. Lastly, for the secondary ability I would choose the grenade. It deals 500 damage, which is pretty much. The talent is your choice. And if you want to be defensive, it will look something like this. Still, this is just the best loadout for only being defensive, and I can't assure you success with it. But anyways, here it is. For the crossbow I would use the bolt thrower or siege bow. The good thing with a bolt thrower is that you can shoot a lot and still have some ammo left. The ammo per clip is 34, which is pretty much. Then we have the siege bow. It deals a lot of damage but has a slower fire rate and less ammo per clip, which means that you can't be all over the place with your shots. For a primary I recommend the bola since it has a 3.3 second disable, which is half a second longer than the poison bola. My recommendation for a secondary ability would be blinding shot. It does what it sounds like, shoots shots that blinds. They also deal some damage. The talent is personal preference. Now, for the interesting part. Here's my recommendation for a good and stable loadout. It is also the cheapest since you only need to buy one thing. For the primary weapon you should use the repeater crossbow, since it has the best and most stable stats. You have a good fire rate, good damage output, and decent clip capacity. Then for the primary ability, you're highly recommended to use the poison bola. It both disables the enemy vampire and damages them. This can also reveal their position and health, since it damages them over 2 seconds. If you are just starting out or don't have the goal to purchase the poison bola, the normal bola works just fine. The normal bola also has a lower cooldown. It's your choice really. And lastly, for the secondary ability, you should use explosive shot. It is the most versatile secondary ability in my opinion. It can deal 300 damage, be shot on long distances, and it has the damage to kill off minions from the summoner and the deceiver. To summarize it all, I recommend the hunter for all the beginners and those of you that like to play the damage dealer role with a lot of mobility and control. The best and most well balanced loadout to use is repeater crossbow with the poison bola and the explosive shot. If any of you have any questions or feedback, feel free to leave a comment or send a private message. You can also add me on Steam if you simply want to play or talk. Tell me in the comments if there's another class you want to be covered, and I'll see what I can do. That's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have an awesome day. Bye!